ready to go. Welcome to this January meeting of the Nevada Commission for the Reconstruction of the V&T Railway. We will call this meeting to order. It is 9:17. Just can't do it like you, Dave. Sorry, I'm trying. Yeah, maybe next time. All right. With that, we'll move to item number 2, which is our roll call and determination of a quorum. Brianna, would you like to take us through a roll call?
Yeah. Chair Mitchell.
I'm here.
Vice Chair Peterson.
Present.
Treasurer Cruz.
Present.
Secretary Hicks.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Very good. Thank you so much. Those who would like to, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Great. Thank you so much. We'll move on to item number 4, which is public comment. The public is invited at this time to comment on and discuss any topic that is relevant to or within the authority of this public body. And with that, we'll open it up for any public comment. Whoa. Line up. Take your time. Slow down. Great. Seeing none, we will move on to agenda item number 5, which is the approval of the minutes for the November 19th, 2025 meeting. Any questions or comments about those minutes? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I move to approve the minutes of the November 19th, 2025 meeting.
Great, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Fantastic. Any final comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much. Moving on to item number 6, discussion and possible action regarding the V&T Commission statement of accounts, payable checks totaling $286,555.35, paid October 1st through 31st, 2025, and $114,331.20 paid November 1st through 30th, 2025. Treasurer Cruz, do you have any light to shed on this item?
Nope.
Great. Any other comments or discussion from the board? I'm going to pause for just a moment. Lucas, should I be taking public comment under each of these items? Is that how we're structured?
So that's typically how the cities, at least Carson City does it. And that is what I would advise, just take it up.
Absolutely.
Public comment. Yeah.
Totally happy to. The fact that I missed doing so on the minutes, is that something that I need to rectify? Okay, thank you. Any public comment on item number 6? Hearing none, all those in favor of, we need a motion, don't we? Yeah, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I move to approve the payable checks paid October 1st through 31st and November 1st through 30th of 2025 as presented.
Very good, thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Motion and a second. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Move on to item number 7, which is discussion and possible action regarding the V&T Commission's adjusted fiscal year 25-26 budget reports for the period of October and November of 2025. Leah, do you have anything for us on this one?
There's money in there.
What's that? Excellent. Where exactly? I don't see that. I don't have the
Well, if you look at line,
training. Very good. Thank you. Any discussion, question or discussion from the board? Hearing none, any public comment on this item? All right. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the budget reports as presented. Report as presented.
Excellent. Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Awesome. We have a motion. Almost like we've done this before. Great. Any final discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, we will move on to item number 8. I will introduce the item and then I have a disclosure to make, if that's all right. Discussion of possible action regarding a proposed sale of certain undeveloped land owned by the V&T Commission designated in Assessor's Parcel Number APN 02-063-22 and 02-063-24, which is the property, and Story County, Story, for a not to exceed amount of $57,000. And I will invite Laura Mather from Story County to come up to present on this item. And before she does, I will just make the following disclosure. NRS 281A.420 requires me to disclose a conflict of interest and abstain from voting when I have a disqualifying conflict. This item involves potential sale of V&T property to Story County. I am a representative of the commission from Story County and have a non-de minimis pecuniary interest in maintaining my position with Story County. Because the judgment of a reasonable person in my position would be materially affected by this relationship, I have a disqualifying interest and I will not vote on this matter. However, Section 3 of the same section allows me to participate in the conversation, but not to advocate for the passage and failure. So I will run it from an administrative perspective and let you deliberate and vote on it. And Laura, with that, if you'll take us through this item, thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning. For the record, Laura Mather, Story County. Story County would like to present a contingent offer for the acquisition of parcels 02-063-22 for $28,500 and 02-063-24 for $28,500. The addresses are 1440 and 1450 Main Street in Gold Hill, currently owned by the Nevada Commission for the Reconstruction of the V&T Railway. Appraisals have been completed on 6 parcels, including the 2 owned by the V&T Railway Commission. And the contingent offer on those 2 parcels is based on fair market value. This originated really through 2 issues or things that are going on in Story County. One is to replace land that was under covenant by a federal and state pass-through grant. In addition, Story County is doing a comprehensive park study in that area, in the entirety of the Comstock area. And I'm happy to answer any questions regarding this.
Great, thank you so much. Any questions from the commission for Laura?
Thank you. So you said that the Story County is going to purchase the rest of those parcels as well, or looking to purchase the rest of those parcels as well, or you just did appraisals on them all?
Laura Mather, for the record, that's correct. We're looking at purchasing those as well.
Okay, great. And this might be a question more for the commission, but I was trying to do a little bit of research to see, and so we purchased this in, was it 2008 or 2009? And I just don't know why. Like, I was trying to research the minutes and any files that we had received, and, you know, obviously there was some reason behind it, and I'm assuming it's because, you know, it's close to the track and the Gold Hill Depot that's there, but I just didn't know if anybody had any further background on why we purchased it then.
Commissioner Hicks, I find myself asking why on many, many things that we consider in this commission. Yeah, Tom, come on up to the mic if you don't mind. Thank you.
Tom Gray, V&T Railroad. Well, there was access was denied to the construction of the railroad at one time by some of the property owners up there and some of the leasers, and so they felt it prudent to buy that property. That's now the road into there. It gives it access.
Great. Okay. Well, and I think that's great background. So then I guess I would just ask that because Story County is our partner in the V&T, would we still be able to utilize that for access if we needed to in the future to the railway? Or are there any access issues currently to our portion of track that we would just need to preserve those rights?
That's a question for Story County and the property owners, I think.
Laura Mather, for the record. I can definitely confirm that with Story County, but the whole reason for that park is to connect it to the depot and the railway and keep that as an active area for both the visitors that come in, for the residents in that area. So the whole goal of that park is that it is a great place to go and play and hang out and either, get off the train and go play in the park or sit in the park and watch the train. That is the intent of the park.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I think, we've talked a little bit before about some things that could draw people to that area, and then that also would draw them, of course, to the train. And I think this is an ideal opportunity for that. So thank you.
Agreed. Laura Mather for the record. Part of the federal grant requirement is that we have to put an activity there at the park because it replaces the land that it replaces actually had a tennis court on it at one time. And because the land that it's replacing had a physical activity for people to do, we have to put that as well. So it's, I imagine it being a pretty cool place to hang out, things for the kids to do, to play on, and those kind of things.
And I have a quick question too, kind of along the same sort of similar lines. Would there be any future obligations retained by the commission, or is this like a full, we're just like, in terms of, let's even go so far as to say like compliance, like inspection costs or anything like that? Are we out completely, it's owned fully by Story?
Laura Mather, for the record, that's correct. So it would be fully owned by Story County. We would have covenants that we would be required to abide by, but that would be fully the responsibility of Story County.
Thank you.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Chair, may I? Laura, could you talk about the estimates or those fair market appraisals for the other pieces of property? I'm just curious what each piece came in at relative to the two that we own.
Laura Mather, for the record, I don't know if they might be included in this packet. Off the top of my head, I don't remember them, but it was all very close. They're all similar size lots.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah, if I may chime in just on the access issue. So certainly there is access currently across those parcels.
Enter the meeting number followed by pound.
As an access. There's kind of an informal access across the neighboring lot to the north, which is part of this acquisition. And then you see below these lots or to the west is Telegraph Street, which is a paved street. It's narrow, but there is access to the area from there. And so it's not
Enter
as
the
if
meeting
the depot
number
on the
followed
track would
by
be completely
pound.
landlocked if the access was not maintained through these lots. Certainly, if access was not maintained, there would not be as much access as there currently is. But I just thought I would point out that there is road access to the area regardless of what happens with these.
Enter the webinar panelist numeric password followed by
Chair, may I just follow up? So there's no plan to change any of the roads, dirt, paved, or otherwise? That would all remain the same, or would some of, with the park development, will it eat into that, or what do you envision, I guess,
Laura Mather, for the record. So I only envision it getting better. It's a dirt road getting in, it's dirt parking, it's, a mess in the wintertime and muddy. And I only envision it getting better. I cannot envision there being less parking or less access or it being worse access. I only envision it getting better.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Are there other questions or comments from the commission?
I already know the answer to this, but I want to put it out there. Does this sale impact the future VNT, like operational or expansion ideas that we've ever had? Like, I just want to put that on the record as to yay or nay, what the board thinks on that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we've had some discussion, not extensive, but kind of strategic discussion about if we thought that these lots would be useful for future operations. And I think that the board kind of concluded that we didn't have any active uses related directly to the train. And I think one of the reasons was there was some discussion of was there value for this as a potential endpoint for the line? And the conversation was that for the most part, people want to be able to get all the way to Virginia City as opposed to stopping in Gold Hill and somehow finding some other way to get up to Virginia City. And so, yeah, thanks for putting that on the record.
So this is where we were trying to figure out that statue, wasn't it? On one of the corners of one of the, okay, in that weird spot. All right. I thought so. Okay.
It is, yeah, we had that discussion as well.
Yeah.
I think that's where it came up, was the discussion about potentially citing a statue on one of these lots.
Roger that. Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Further discussion? If not, I'll open it up for any public comment on this item. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion if there is one.
I'm happy to make a motion on this. I move to approve the sale of property APN numbers 02-063-22 and 02-063-24 as presented for a total not to exceed $57,000 or for $57,000, I guess, in total, if that works.
I like not to exceed. Maybe the county will decide to give us a little discount or something. Just in case.
Come in a little bit below, I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be nice of them.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to have to bring it back if they don't want to charge us as much, so.
We could drag this out for weeks and months.
Very good. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the question. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And I will abstain. So let the record show that it's 3 votes in favor, 0 votes against, and 1 abstaining on this item. So the motion passes. Thank you so much, Laura, for being here.
Thank you.
All right. So it looks like we have Maria on. Do we know if? Yeah. So we'll move on to item number 9, which is a discussion and presentation regarding the V&T Commission's social media activities for calendar year 2025. Maria, are you with us? You want to give us this presentation?
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so
Okay.
let me share my screen. Mm. Okay, so can you see my screen?
It tells us it's coming. It's just running a little slow. Give it just a second here. Maria, can you still hear us?
Yes.
Okay. 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 Okay, great. So Maria, unfortunately, it appears that the ability to share the screen is not working properly. We all have a copy of the presentation with us, and there, I believe, is a copy by the door for anyone in the audience that would like to follow along. And so, Commissioner, if you just want to make sure you have it in front of you, and Maria, if you don't mind just kind of talking us through when you're moving from one slide to the next, and we will follow on our end.
Okay, it's perfect.
Great. Give us just a moment. We're getting settled here in the room, and can you share from your? Okay. Maria, give us just another second. Sherry's going to share the presentation on the screens here in the room so that it's easily visible by everybody. Very good. All right, I think we're ready. Thank you for your patience.
Okay. Well, so overall, 2025 was a very strong year for marketing performance across Instagram and Facebook. We saw consistent growth on all key metrics. For example, on Instagram, we saw that we gained over 600 followers during this year, and also the content interactions increased, which tell us people were engaging more with the content. Can you switch the slide, please? What helps us get with these metrics is the type of content we focus on. We use historical facts and educational content, which help position BNC Railway as an authority and spark conversation. Also, we use content promoting the special trains and the general season trains, clearly connecting social media to ticket sales. And also, the experience driving content shows real people enjoying the trains. This feels like actually how it's riding with the VNC Railway. So when we review the performance on Instagram, that we can see that three of the top performing posts were reels, which one has 1,531 views. These reels work because they usually show the experience aboard the train. For example, one is about the Toes of the Canyon train ride. The second one is about a general experience aboard the BNT Railway. And the last one was an experience aboard the Polar Express train ride. So we can see that when people see this kind of content, they engage more because they want to have the same experience as the videos. So can we switch now to Facebook, please? Okay, well, Facebook was the social media platform where we delivered some of the strongest results of the year. We reached 1.3 million total views. And one important thing as is 1 million views were organic, which is extremely important because in other words, the content we made on Facebook helped us go with the algorithm. And also we make more engagement with new followers. This growth was helped by consistent posting throughout the year. Also, we start to share content in local Facebook groups, which help us reach new people. And also, we create posts that were interactive, asking questions, sharing stories, and highlighting travel trips and historical facts. One important insight here is that many people that share the content were not followers of the page at the beginning. So when they discover our page, they start to follow us because this is something that maybe they don't used to know, and they feel attracted by the experience the VNT Railway can make. That means the content itself was compelling enough for people. With some of the best performing posts of throughout the year on Facebook were these ones. Can you switch the slide, please? Well, some of the best performing posts on Facebook were related to the Polar Express train ride. What we particularly see that works with this post is that we just a visual template, consistent visual templates that were aligned to the brand guideline of the Polar Express train ride. And this allowed people to recognize the event in their feed without reading all the information or the details. So when they see these photos, they instantly think, oh, this is the Polar Express. I'm going to learn more and purchase my tickets. So this kind of content that is aligned to a brand guideline help us because people can identify easily which train we are talking about. So in simple terms, visual consistency helps reduce confusion and build recognition. Can we switch to the last slide, please? Yeah, that's perfect. In addition to social media, we maintain ongoing public relations efforts with the social media outlets in Reno and Carson City. We also send multiple email campaigns throughout the year, each one designed with one purpose, highlighting incoming trains and events. Also, in all these emails, we include a clear call to action to purchase tickets or learn more about that train so people can go easily to the website and see all the details. These efforts support overall visibility and reinforce messaging across platforms, ensuring people were seeing consistent information throughout multiple touch points. Overall, 2025 marked a shift from simply maintaining a social presence to using marketing as a strategy tool for visibility, engagement, and conversation. What worked was consistency, experience-driving content, a strong visual storytelling, a strategic use of videos like Reels, and organic community sharing. So these are the elements that deliver results in 2025, and they will be continue to be the foundation as we move forward in 2026.
Very good. Thank you so
And-
much, Maria. Are there any questions from the commission for Maria about this report?
I do have at least one question.
Please go ahead.
This is just something that we ask on the Virginia City side, so I kind of am curious here. How does the Lumont, wow, if I could talk, that would be great. Organic growth and paid or seasonal spikes differentiated? Like, how do we, or can you? Because sometimes that's tough to do. But I'm just curious because almost everything we always excel during PEX. Obviously, all of our stuff is mainly focused on that. But what are we doing? There is some stuff in here, but is there a differentiation in your office regarding just organic growth or just off-season promotional stuff as opposed to just the seasonal promotion? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Are you asking for her to differentiate just organic from paid
Yeah,
and,
sort of.
and take
yeah.
that month by month and just see the differences? Is that what you're wondering? If we
That
could break that down.
and also with the historical stuff, I know the historical posts perform really well, things like
Right.
that. I always am curious what is the most interesting to people aside from an event. Like, what do people want to see? Because we focus on that heavily. So this may not even be a question necessarily, but just something I'm curious about for future. Like, what aside from advertising Polar Express, what are people really interested in? And I know that the numbers show even like this one on here about the historical stuff. Should we be doing more of that? Because these two posts shared were viewed very heavily. Obviously not in comparison to PEX stuff, but like, is that something we should be focusing more on? That kind of thing. So, like I said, might just be more of a comment than a question necessarily, but in a very roundabout way, I got to my point, I think, but.
Maria, do you have any thoughts? And it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
Because Leah's very confusing. But
Always.
if you have any thoughts around, aside from
It's true.
the events and specific calls to action, where things are performing well, do we need to do more of that, or is it a good balance right now?
Yeah, well, one thing that we notice is that people loves when we show which experience they're gonna get when they travel aboard the VNT railway. So that's why with the Polar Express, there is like more engagement and maybe more sales because it's an event that it has the same things like the shows and everything. So people who knows this is waiting for the another year because they know that we only sell those tickets in some specific time. For example, with the 2026 announcement post we made on January about when the general season starts, it has also a lot of reactions and shares and everything because we're telling the people that this date we're going to do this. So they are prepared for the day, the train is going to start or everything. And also so sharing the details of every event. Also, we have videos of these events, these special trains, like for example, for the Toast of the Canyon train, using videos about it help us people know what can they experience aboard. So we're going to continue with this kind of content, showing the experiences you can live when you travel with the VNT Railway.
Perfect. With that being said, then I think we should focus a lot more on video content as a whole next year, and in also just a regular train trip, like just not a special train, not whatever, but I think that needs to be put out there, what it looks like when you board, when you get off, blah, blah, blah. So, and I'm sure that's probably in the works with them, but awesome. Thank you so much.
Very good. Other questions or comments from the commission? Very good. Maria, thank you so much. There's no action for us to take, but we appreciate you bringing this report to us. Impressive growth and engagement, and we thank you for giving us a consistent voice and a consistent presence. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. All right. That brings us on to item number 10, which is another item for discussion only, discussion and presentation regarding the VNT Commission's website. Excuse me. And I believe that despite technology's best efforts and Mr. Murphy at work, we have Ryan Sullivan from KPS3 here with us to provide a review of the final phase of the website rebuild for the VNT Railway. Ryan, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you, board, and really everybody for helping me deal with getting on here. You'd think by 2026 I would know how to get onto a WebEx and get it working, but here we are, but ready to go. So as you just talked about, wanted to share, and I'll be sharing my screen, to walk through some of the new updates to the website. KPS3 was tasked with building the new VNT Railway website, and at that time, we really focused on more of like the immediate pages that needed to be ready for launch in August of 2025. And we were pushing towards that because we knew with PX and the Twain Train and a couple other events, there's a lot of big events in the fall and winter. And so we wanted to make sure that this was ready to go and at least in a place that first phase, which was in August of 2026. And so now I'm going to kind of walk through a little bit of the website of like what was added since then, because there are new pages and even some of the discussion that you all had mentioned in the previous agenda item. I think there is some content here that can be used for that. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So let me share my screen.
So Ryan, unfortunately, we may be having issues with screen sharing on our end. But I think, Sherry, is it possible for us to ask you to bring up the website at least? And so maybe she can poke around. I know it's not the same as your presentation, but she may be able to get it on the screens, and at least we can look at different elements accompanying your narration, if that's okay.
That's perfect. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
All right. Hang tight just a moment.
Yeah, of course.
That's a great question. But you know, when this pops up, Ryan, if you'll let us know if you can see if you can see the website coming through from our end, I think you may be able to, but because it sounded to me like Maria was able to. She was able to see what was there and was asking for changes. So give it just a second here, and then we should have that up.
Definitely. And I think I did see when you guys were screen sharing Maria's report, I did see that on here. So
Okay.
hoping it works here too. What I can do is, oh, perfect. That was perfect timing. Thank you, Sherry. This is great. But yes, so we have the VNT website here. And again, some of the elements that we had was when it first launched in August of 2026 was this homepage. We had also the history page, the know before you go, and then some of the major and the train excursions that happen throughout the year. So that includes events and then the regular trains and those rides. And really, the goal was to have the website launched then and then have access so then people could work through purchasing tickets via Fair Harbor and making this more in an accessible way for people to have this. The next couple phases that we really worked on was, well, let's like expand not just what VNT Railway has in terms of the train excursions, but there's a lot more there besides the history too. So we have important information such as the film VNT Railway page, and that's at Sherry, the very top. You should see it says film VNT Railway. Perfect. And so this page just takes people through kind of more of how Virginia City and especially the railway has been featured. If you scroll a little bit farther down, you'll kind of see some of where it's been featured. And we've kind of listed some of the bigger films. We've also tried to make this approachable to film studios and to producers, and really something so then they can get a little bit more information about what's there. So it goes hand in hand. And then at the very end, we kind of have, if you scroll to the very bottom of this page, perfect, right here. Oh, just a little bit farther up, sorry. This right there, perfect. So what we tried to do kind of at the end, once all that information's here, is really make sure that the people who are in charge of, looking for these shots and looking for these locations, then have a way to get in contact with you all, but then also kind of have that connection between Carson City and Story County and Virginia City. So it's really cohesive. I know that there's a lot of film studios, and that's been a bigger push these last couple of years for Northern Nevada. And so I think really leaning into this is like a connected and almost a new audience. They're a smaller audience, and obviously that's not where most of the traffic's coming from, but we really did want to make sure that this was something that's unique and something that's called out for the website. I think the other piece that I want to highlight too is if we share, if you scroll to the top again, and we'll go to the main menu. So we have at the top, you'll see it says train excursions, group experiences, history. That's been there. We have the train excursions, and if you click on the train excursions, you'll see there's a lot more information here besides just the trips in terms of like the information. So if you click on that first one, or I'm sorry, Sherry, that plan your trip. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but what we did do was, and if you scroll a little bit farther down, we've made like itineraries for people for each one of these train excursions. So from the Carson City to Virginia City to Gold Hill, the PX, and then also Toast of Your Canyon. Each one has a specific kind of itinerary, and by no means is this something we're saying, gotta go here, gotta check this out, but we're just giving suggestions to people, you know, when they're first getting maybe to Carson City, where's somewhere where they can go to a local cafe and maybe pick up a coffee. And then when they're in Virginia City, where are just some places that they can look at, maybe also like book a tour. And we were working with we work with Visit Carson City, but we really worked with Sherry and Candy as well on this to make sure that, you know, hey, does this make sense? Like, does this feel like, you know, something that's going to be authentic and get that Virginia City experience, but then also really get the most out of their ride? So I think that was like one piece, like I said, and we've added these itineraries. And these, I think, in a way can be used. I know you all were talking, like I said, the previous agenda item about that social media and email marketing efforts. I think these are a perfect piece to add these into, kind of weave those into there, because people are, these days, they're really looking into itineraries, not so much to tell them what to do, but just give them examples like this. So I think it's definitely something to really look into. And like I said, you can direct them to this page or the other pages, depending on what the train excursion is, and they'll have some information here that's really helpful. The last thing I wanted to highlight, because I know you guys are have busy agenda items, is if you scroll to the very top again, Sherry, we have group experiences. And if you click on that, you'll see that this drop down, we have a couple different areas. So I mentioned about the itineraries being something new we've added to the train excursion. That's to help that audience get a little bit more information. We already had the information of how long the train ride was, how to purchase tickets, really those details that a lot of people are asking. Now we have the itineraries for them. We have the film VNT, like I said, for any producers, anybody looking for locations. And then we also wanted to make sure that within the group experiences that we highlighted a lot of the other audiences that could be in here. So that could be corporate events, private charters, any type of weddings, or school field trips. And if you select the school field trips at the very bottom of that menu, and you scroll a little bit through there, again, we worked with the VNT Railway team, and we really wanted to make sure that this information, and they're all specific to those different audiences. So, you know, we really wanted to make sure that that information's here, and it really is something that can be like, well, for example, with this field trip, what's going to be like some of the main points that, you know, a classroom could be able to see, what can they do, and kind of map out a little bit of that information. So sharing those information, and then at the bottom, we have more of we'll have like a call to action down here in this last one, just a little more. Perfect. Where people can fill out their form. And we have this form for all the events. It's a group contact form, and then that way we can get a little bit more information. So when somebody is looking at this, or maybe a corporate event, they will be able to get a little bit of information beforehand, and then be able to share with you all the information as well. So then that way the VNT Railway team kind of look at it, have a little bit of information beforehand, and really look into it. So those are probably the main pages. Again, there was, we really wanted to make sure with this next couple phases that we worked on, and this concluded our work on the website for right now, but we wanted to make sure that where can we get a little bit deeper than just like the information that we have here, and really make sure that people are getting as much information as possible. So then that way, I know when people are contacting, one of the things is they always want to make sure, where can I find this? Where can I find that? And now it's accessible on the website.
Very good.
Any
Thank you.
questions? Yeah.
Commission, questions or comments?
I just wanted to say that I really like the simplicity of the design. What we didn't show was at the footer, how we've been able to basically remove the things that apply to this commission that mean absolutely nothing to an actual visitor or somebody who wants to ride the train. So I like the way that we've, without going to a .biz site or something along those lines, just put that down in the footer. I think that keeps it very nice, easy, consistent. So I think the team did a really good job of the way that this is laid out. I know we still have some things we need to discuss as it relates to once you click off the website and you get into Fair Harbor and how that works. But again, that's not what this group was tasked with. That's a separate system that we're operating on from a ticket perspective. We just had ABA, American Bus Association, was here, first time, 100-year history of this organization. And one of the three things that I had sent through to our peers at the Reno Sparks Convention and Visitors Authority when we talk about luxury experiences, customizable experiences, was this whole group concept, the idea of renting out a train for a motor coach group or a tour operator group. So there was one of three things that we had sent through, and so I'm glad that we have this section up on the website. We can drive people to it, and obviously Sherry and the team and Candy can take things from there. But I feel like we're positioning ourselves, to receive these sorts of requests. And I will say, just in talking with some of the people who were on the Carson City specific sightseeing tour, there were a bunch of railroad buffs. It was fantastic, actually. I mean, so, and we did take them to the Railroad Museum. The team there was kind enough to pull the McKean car out, for us a couple weeks ago here, and that went over really well. Had a little visit from Mr. Mark Twain himself on that ride, so a little surprise for these guys. But the railroad piece, they just that how close things are, right? Museum to getting onto the Eastgate Depot was something that came up during the conversations that I had with these folks at a dinner at the Gold Dust West Casino. So I think, we have nothing, I will say, but opportunity on that end of things. So, but great job, you guys. I really like the way that this turned out.
Very good. Other comment?
I echo everything Dave just said. I know it's weird, and I agreed with him. Weird.
Whoa.
Put it in your diary, Dave.
Oh, we need to take a recess.
The record. That's on the record.
Has there been a full pass over so that staff can do updates to the website? Has that been handled? Okay, perfect. Just so if we do have any content changes that we need to make, who do we start directing those to? Sherry now? Okay, perfect. Okay, that was, and are there any remaining invoices that we need to be worried about just from I need to sometimes put the treasurer hat on. Are we done there as far as we know? Okay, thank you.
Could I just follow, if we are done, then we could move forward with the grant reimbursement for the work that was done, actually, not to, but since we're still talking websites, so that's something that we could do because it's complete, boom. Good, cool, thank you.
Very good. Stephanie, anything? Good, excellent. Great. Well, Ryan, thank you for your work on this. I love where we are with it. We have our strategic planning retreat coming up in a week and a half or so, and so that will give us an opportunity to maybe come up with wish list items or other things we may want to look at for future phases with the website. I'm particularly grateful for the overlay banner at the top, the ability to call people's attention to a particular call to action or an item of particular interest so they don't have to go digging for it. I think that's really valuable. Is that something that's fairly easy to change as we need to?
Yes. So that is something, if you guys ever have questions too, I know I shared like a video on how to update that, but luckily the best thing, and I think you've all echoed this a couple of times, but I want to just put a pin in that too, because I think it's such a good point, is this is a living, breathing, website, and there are going to be changes, but there's also going to be new pages you guys want to add, changes to hours, whatever it is. And so because this is built on WordPress, I'm not going to get too jargony, but basically this is pretty user friendly for the team to be able to make those updates while still making sure it sticks with the style of the website. And to your point, with that banner that's at the top, that's totally customizable in a very easy way, can take as little as maybe 2 minutes to be able to write. And the nice thing is you can put whatever message you want up there. And then you also can have, just as we have here, like a call to action, so it can take the person directly to whatever page you want them to go to.
That's great. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Ryan, taking the time. We appreciate the wrap up on it, and we'll see where we go from here. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Absolutely. That concludes item number 10. We will move on to item number 11, which is a discussion and presentation regarding the Polar Express 2025 season. We'll invite our Polar team, including Carla and Tom and Candy, if you'd like to come on up and let us know how it went. Yeah. That's a great question. Is someone just itching to share something about Polar Express?
Yeah, I can give
Sherry,
you
do you
a
want to start out with?
quick overview of our numbers and how well we did. Was that me? Oh. Yeah. So the 2025 Polar Express saw yet again more growth. I think we hit a record of our total revenue being $1,111,081. Our net profit being $322,000. This is all inclusive of the trip insurance, the photography commission, and the gift shop. So with the 26 nights of performances, where there was a total of 78 performances through the season. And we served, oh my gosh, I lost my number, 16,431 passengers this year. Having said that, our expenses did go a little higher. They rose by 11%, whereas our revenue was up by 7%. But we did, we did spend a little bit extra money this year with banners and our flags, a little bit on the outdoor decorations. The cookies were a little bit more expensive, so it's a smattering of all things, but I think it was all well worth it. Let's see. So some of our successes, and Rick with Rail Events at his site visit did point out some of our branding and signage that was much more clear on the route up. Was very pleased with the cast performance. He thought that there was an excellent adaptation of the material that fits the venue, and that our cast and staff were all well rehearsed. Another win I was happy about was that our messaging this year addressing alcoholic beverages was successful, as we had much less problem this year than last. So that was good. Let's see. We didn't have as many responses on our survey. I don't know what the problem is on that, because I did actually schedule it through Fair Harbor to send the survey out within 24 hours after they rode the Polar Express, but we only really got about 124 responses. We had some Google reviews as well, but almost all were very positive, and I think our rating was about 4.8 through our Survey Monkey. But overall, we made some money. People were happy. We served more guests, so it was a successful event.
Very good. Thank you, Sherry. Anyone else want to add some color?
Well, we'll save the best till later, which would be Carla. Candy Duncan, V&T Railway. So I was, of course, doing tickets for our new assigned seating. And it did have some bugs, but overall, I think customers were really happy that they were able to choose their own seats. And I think that is a good thing that we need to continue doing. They had some difficulty understanding our seat maps, or even understanding that they could pick their own seats this year, which is just because people, those first few days, are in such a panic to buy tickets. They're not reading anything. They just push a button and buy a ticket. So, but once you get that all sorted out, and fortunately it's easy enough to change most things through Fair Harbor. So once you get that all straightened out, I think everybody was happy with them. The coach seating, though, was a challenge because every single person, it seemed like, that I talked to about coach seats wanted to be in the seats that face each other. And they know this from past riding the train. And so that was like their biggest issue. And I think that we need to maybe work a little bit better on if they did read first before because this year they just picked what they knew. So hopefully next year they'll pay a little bit more attention, because on the deluxe coach, the seats, we made a decision. They were not moving seats. They're too hard to move. So they are the way they are. And I know it caused Carla's people some trouble trying to move people around and make them happy. And there were some unhappy people, but I think we can solve that by just making sure we're a little clearer in our literature. And some people did think, and we can talk about this at our retreat, that deluxe coach wasn't deluxe. They didn't see why they had to pay a couple dollars more. And so maybe we can talk about that a little bit more. Maybe they're all coach. I don't know. There are some other things we need to kind of iron out that way. And then another issue that came up a lot this year is we have a lot of parents who bring 3, 4, 5, even 6-year-old kids and claim they're lap babies. And sometimes, well, I caught a lot of people who just wouldn't even walk up to the podium with these giant children that they were going to pass off as lap babies and just get their tickets and walk off. And I knew this is what's going to happen. And Carla confirmed it is what happens. And I think it happens because we don't sell individual seats. Odd-numbered families don't want to stick somebody in a bench all by themselves. So they try and squeeze them in the bench that they're in. And the parents who pay and do what they're supposed to do, of course, are resentful of the ones who don't. And so it is, I don't know. The only thing I could come up with is maybe we might want to say that the only individuals that do not have to have a paid ticket are babies 24 months and younger. And any other children have to sit in a seat, and the seat has to be paid for. But I don't know how.
Just pretend we're an airline.
Right, because you
That's what
can't
they
do
do.
that on Southwest Airlines. You can't stick your teenager on your lap and say. So, I mean, I understand. I have 3 kids, and I remember it's hard having odd number families. So I know all that, but we just need to be tougher, I guess. So something to talk about during the retreat. And the only other thing is the advanced preparation for the assigned seating took too much time. this year. And so I'm been investigating some different ticketing ideas. And I did yesterday talk to, briefly, was able to talk to some of the people at the Durango Silverton, because their puller tickets are already on sale. And they do assign seating. And what they do, and I need to actually speak to them a little bit more about this, but what they do is when you pick your seat, you buy it, and it tells you in the confirmation will give you directions on how to print your ticket out and how boarding works. So the individual, instead of having me write a ticket with their name and their seat numbers, they have a copy of that, and they can print it out or they can keep it on their phone. And then from there, they still would need to check in with me, get their name checked off the manifest, get the gold ticket, and be told where to sit. So I'm sure Fair Harbor can do that for us. The Durango Silverton uses e-tix, but there's a lot of ticketing services out there that can do it too. But I just think we need to investigate that a little further. So that's what I'm working on now. And other than that, it was really fun. It was a very intense, busy year, and I looked ahead in the calendar and see that next year, our last big push is going to be 7 days long. And so we all need to be sent to an island retreat after Polar next year. But it was good. It was very good. Thank you for letting me continue to be involved with it. I always enjoy it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any specific questions for Candy? All right.
Real quick on the ticketing front, Candy. So how are the lines? I know we were trying to fix something in there too, right? With the different color coded. Did that go over? No. Okay.
I think that was
Still an issue?
I think a lot of it is that, first of all, people don't listen to me when I tell them when they check in what they need to do. And then we had those little color-coded cards, and they don't pay attention to, I mean, I think they get in that room and they figure somebody's going to sort them out and figure where they go. There are signs, we had bigger signs with pictures of the tickets. The only thing I can think of is having an actual individual whose job it is to sort out the boarding area. They don't go anywhere else. They stay in the boarding area and make sure everybody's in the correct line. And it could even be, maybe the conductors could do that. I don't know.
This is Carla Wilson. We did have those issues, and we needed to add another line that separates the Jersey Lil from the table section to the private room. We only had 4 lines, and the crew on Tom's side, they want to load the private room first. Perfectly understandable. But the problem became that people were not grouping up close enough to have everyone in the boarding area. And it was very confusing because those 2 sections are in one line. And I think those two sections need to be separated. We also, I think you need to look at some additional stanchions and possibly some signage on the roll-up door as they're entering the loading zone. But yeah, that was an issue.
Chair, may I just follow up? When you say the roll-up door, the one where you're facing it before it goes up, like have something?
No, it's the one between both sections of the building.
There's no door there.
But
To keep the door up.
yeah,
I
'cause
know.
the doors.
But we used to use it as a reveal, and we stopped doing that about 5 years ago. So if there's something that could be put up there,
Gotcha.
and then the stanchions start there,
Mm.
what I was doing is, and Desiree, we were going in and asking people to please move their groups, tighten up their groups, get to know each other, so that everybody could see the pre-show.
For the overall experience, I agree with you. So the folks that are way out, you're right, you're missing what's happening. You don't even know, hypothetically, right? So,
Yeah, this is Candy Duncan again. I think also that was kind of a side effect of assigned seating is
Yeah.
people figured, oh, I don't have to go do that now because I have an assigned seat. So I'm going to stay out here in the retail area and I'm going to talk to my friends and I'm going to let my kids touch everything. And then after that's all over with, then I'll go in there and get on the train. So that I saw that happen a lot.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if maybe, we're limited in the space that we have
Yeah.
there, right? And so I'm wondering if maybe a step in the right direction is expanding the audio out into that is covering the pre-show, pointing out into the retail section. So at very least, it's an audio cue that things are starting and that they can hear what's happening, even if they can't see what's happening. And that may start to kind of gather everyone in as that starts.
There's a twofold issue with that. The first part of that is, depending on where the speaker is, it can be hard for Candy to hear people checking in. On the flip side of that, Rick from Rail Events did suggest putting in another speaker in the loading zone, because once you get all those bodies in there absorbing the sound and it's echoing and people love to chatter through everything, it was hard for people to hear. So he did make that recommendation, Rick did.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's probably possible for us to improve the sound within the room, even a little louder, better coverage, and then have a moderated connection out into the other room where it's not at the same level, but is an extension that's kind of, it's a fill without necessarily overpowering what's happening in there.
Well, a thought could be to add we still have the standalone speakers that we had on the train previously, and they work kind of as a squawk box also, so you can plug a mic right into them. And it's possible to have a conductor, and I'd have to get it approved through Rail Events, but have one of our conductors do something like, at Disneyland, you hear this, next train leaving for the North Pole in 2 minutes or something like that, that it would not encroach on Candy, but it would give people the signal, you need to get in there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like that idea.
Yeah. And whether we use those or up, when I took a tour of Fenway Park, they wore a little speaker right around there, right around, just on a lanyard basically. And so it just gave them a little bit of amplification.
These ones are,
Very
when
portable.
we purchased them, they were designed to be used for both ways.
Great.
And so we still have them.
Excellent. All right.
On to me, I guess.
Yeah.
This is Carla Wilson. Overall, I thought we had a really good season. Yes, we had hiccups with the seating. We had people, mainly in the deluxe coach, that they didn't pay attention, as Candy reiterated too. But my crew was able to sort out most people to make them happy. And we had a lot of passengers who they saw that there was an issue and they moved, or we went to them and we did everything we could to put families together. I would say maybe 5 to 10% of the time there was an issue, but the majority of the time we were able to work it out. The polar plague went through the show again this year. We evaded it last year, but this year it kind of got us. But we made it work. We did the last weekend. The last 5 days we turned on the lights. We didn't use the market lights, and I think that helped with people getting into the right lines because they could see them hanging. But it did kind of take away some of the effect that we were trying to go for. With regards to we had some people who were upset when the sound went out one night, which we went over. The North Pole, I know they're working on it, but there were, in the survey when I went through it, there were a lot of comments on how they wished it was better lit, so on and so forth. We did add dancers to the North Pole, and I think that added to a lot of the activity this year. Overall, I was pleased with how everything went. I felt like my staff did a good job resolving anything. With regards to lap babies, I know in previous years some railroads have used a sticker or something to identify a lap baby. Well, peeling that off's really easy. That might be something we do have to look at, possibly with a particular ticket or something. I don't know. I don't know how to resolve that one. Candy would probably have better ideas on that. And I know we'll talk more at the retreat. I do have a request that the Polar Express be the last thing to discuss in the retreat if possible. I was notified a close friend of mine passed away, and their funeral is a full Catholic Mass at 11 o'clock on that Friday. So, and I have to sing at it. So, I mean, I don't have to, but I really am obligated. I think my contract is up, so we need to look at that if we're moving forward this year. And as Candy said, we need to look at dates. I thought the exterior decoration was wonderful this year. It really stood out, and like Sherry said, Rick was very pleased with it. I still think the commission needs to consider having that small building we're using as a green room inspected, just because of all the burrowing under the building. I don't know, Tom could probably answer this if and when it was just kind of last checked out. But all in all, I was very pleased with how everything went.
Very good. Thank you. Questions, comments from the commission?
I just want to make an overall comment from my peers in the tourism industry who took their kids, went on BEX. They absolutely loved it. They really appreciated that it was different than the year before. So I think keep up the excellent work as far as what you're doing with the production of it, and as we keep enhancing the North Pole, people genuinely appreciated that, and that was the feedback that I received from a lot of my peers that went on. And then I have the answer to this lap baby situation, and I think it would be potentially a viral social media campaign. I will be placed on the chair as lap, and we'll have a circle with that's a no-go. This is not the type of lap baby that we're interested in having on the PEX. So it's just a thought. It doesn't have to be me. My peers can certainly sit on chairs lap. No, and not for viral social media campaigns. No, yeah, anything goes. Yeah, you want to keep the legal out. Sorry, Lucas. Keep the HR out. Yeah. So anyway, but I just great work. Really, it was
Thank
I think
you.
a great, and the numbers prove that out. So well done.
I take great pride in it, and I'm always amazed at the talent I get. The only thing I would, if moving forward, if my contract goes on, I would request the ability to have Lumont Media set something up to where I can go on Fox 11 or whatever for auditions, because a lot of my kids are aging out and I'm having to go to younger, which isn't always bad, but I'd love to have more adult for the conductors and the hobos. That would be a little better for me, and I think it would overall enhance the production with the age differences.
Good. I'm okay with the viral video, Dave, but pacifier and bonnet are a must for you, so.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I know I've got some ideas.
Yeah.
Think of it as a sippy cup.
Tom, thoughts, observations?
Tom Gray, Virginia Truckee Railroad. I didn't make a list like I should have, but we just took all the seats in the classic coach to get them recovered in new foam. That's 64 seats. So we keep whittling away the train cars, and we have some new kind of nice decorations for the VIP car. Some one thing I'm really proud of is I didn't realize that Handel wrote "Joy to the World." And so I have that score with a big wreath in it. So that'll be the first thing you see when you get into the VIP car. Stuff like that. You know, if it's VIP, it's VIP. You know, it's not commercial decorations. This year we had to, granted, didn't want to donate the message boards, so we just purchased the one. Pretty expensive. And unfortunately, it was kind of by a sign on the eastbound lane of 50 getting in. But I think it worked. I think one's enough. I don't know, that's the hardest to make the turn, you know. Two would be better. That's such a dangerous intersection at night. It just scares the heck out of me. And I remember one meeting I had NDOT actually came and they trimmed down that barrier rail. So when you're turning in the lights, you couldn't see cars coming up on the eastbound, westbound. So that was really nice. But you know, that's yeah. The parking lot, you know, we had the, I don't know if you made any money on the commission guy, but I kind of felt, you know, I kind of let him do it, but I don't think it's a good idea. It just takes too much room. I can show you some pictures when everybody's exiting there in the good weather, it's just too dark. And we bought an extra light plant this year down there, and there's no place for people to walk. They were walking in the roadway, and the kids, you know, and it's just, it's a potential for something really dangerous. That's my biggest, one of my biggest fears down there. The trains seem to go okay. I'm having a lot of crew issues. You know, I've lost a lot of people this year, but we're doing okay. Everything seemed to be reliable. The building facilities, we had some 911s on the electrics, and Highland Electric was going to come back at the end of the year. These gals, I mean, it's so cold in there for these ladies, you know, we need to heat them up. And exercise program, maybe, jumping jacks.
Sorry, I have to have a heater.
And so there's just not enough electrical circuits in there to power all this stuff. So we talked about it, and it's pretty simple. He was waiting for all the decorations to come down. They come back and add these circuits. So it'll make it more robust. The rainy weather sometimes knocks the lights out, so that's always going to be a challenge with outdoor lighting and the sockets. We put in security cameras. I think we have 7 now. It's a pretty good little system. You know, it's an after the fact thing. We had security during most days during the day, and then at night, 3 or 4 times a night they come by. Seating's always going to be a problem when we started out doing the assigned bench seating, and it's always a problem if you have an oddball person, you know, 3, and it's kind of not fair for the customer, you know, because they have to either buy an extra seat, and you know, you know, we're putting a square block in a round hole, and it's not quite fitting, but it works. It's the best. Seating's never going to be perfect. People are going to be mad no matter what, and they're going to have children, small children David's age, you know, and you know, it's like sneaking into the drive-ins in the trunk. What else was there? The hot chocolate ladies do an incredible job in there. Kelly's incredible. We improved that room. That was one of the 911s to get the circuits better. Unfortunately, the electricians before had put the lighting circuit on the outlet circuit, so I don't know. I think we got that segregated, so at least the lights will be on for them if the other stuff goes out. So because making that hot chocolate's critical. I found out that their urns, some of the urns weren't making hot water for almost an hour and a half, so I ordered 3 new urns, but they didn't come in time, so next year that'll be a priority. When the merchandise came in this year, there were 16 pallets, and they're about 6 to 7 feet tall. We need to have the inventory list beforehand so we can, know where to put all the stuff. There's just all the, the pallets and mugs are pretty easy, but the merchandise is all, and that would be faster. One thing that I really like was that point of sale system. That's really simple to use, and I think it'll be a really good asset coming up. What else was there? Internet's on a wireless to it, so at some point we probably should hardwire the point of sale systems, rather than have them go through the wireless. That's easier to hack. The restrooms did pretty good. We had a great parking lot lady, worked harder than anybody I've ever seen. Twice as strong as me for sure. And she cleaned the restrooms, and the restroom company came in during the week beforehand. So they should have been pretty good. I think we pumped them one time this year. Twice? Okay. So that really wasn't an issue. The rodent problem, and yeah, there's definitely a rodent problem in the green room. We only have the train sets, over the years are kind of different sizes, and we have a fixed facilities to load them. And so when we load the top VIP car, there's a concrete ramp that works pretty good, except if it's icy or snowy. It really could be extended with a guardrail in case somebody comes off that train, because we have a conductor to help them get on and off on the steps, because there's a potential for a fall there. And hopefully they'll fall on one of the big round jovial conductors and bounce back. But the other cars load up on the loading ramp, which, there's the handicap ramp and then the steps. So that works pretty good. But it takes a while to load up on the far end of the train. So there are some steps down there, but it's dark there, and it's a really high step. It's okay for the crew maybe to discharge stuff, but not for the passengers. It's just so, and to build a concrete step there, you're right in the middle of where the guys throw the switch. So you have to kind of, fudge something to make something else work. So maybe just loading the train a little bit slower is the safest, kind of easiest way to do it. Our engineer's, I think, 82 now. He's been doing every one, and he's hanging in there pretty good. What else? I don't know. Any questions for us? You should really see what we do behind the scenes. I think you'd be amazed. It's with everybody. It's quite a production to pull it off. And nobody got hurt this year too. So that was good. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
This is Carla Wilson. Tom sparked my memory, or not my memory, my thoughts on a few other things. I don't know, Clay, you mentioned something about where the cast parks. Did we ever get a permit or what? I noticed the guy who owns the landing strip there, was running his plane up and down it. Not at night, of course, but he has been running his plane up and down it, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, Carla, I called in a favor, got the federal government shut down, so BLM has been off our back
Perfect.
about it.
Perfect.
For a little bit. I imagine they'll call sooner or later. So.
Yeah.
It was back. They mentioned it to us right before the shutdown back in October. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
we had a meeting with. I had a meeting with them related to some other work we were doing on the track, and they mentioned that we probably should just get a permit to officialize the access across a BLM parcel that's there.
Okay.
One
thing I remember Rick did mention was about it would be better if we could add 2 or 3 more of the porta potties. And one day, prime example, I was coming out of the green room heading up to the train, and I noticed a guy come running in front of me, and he went around the building really quick, and I'm thinking, what is he doing back there? It's not safe. And so I went to follow him to tell him not to go back there, only to realize he was relieving himself as I rounded the corner. So, and it wasn't the first time. Evidently, my cast reported there were several incidents of that. With regards to the cookies, Dirty Dough stopped making the gluten-free midway through the run because they couldn't get them from their headquarters. So Kelly however you say her last name, Kelly from the Hot Chocolate Room, she's a cottage baker, and she was baking at least a dozen gluten-free for us every night so that we could have those on hand. So that's something we need to think about for next year, because we did have several requests for them. And I know we get a lot of requests about or comments about lawn furniture in our Ardell. Is there any possibility to look into something different? It's not a huge complaint, but we do get comments back about lawn furniture. Not that often. Just something for the future to think about if we can. Thank you.
I had one question on the review that we received. It said something, it was talking about the train decoration. It says nicely decorated as decor is replaced, moved to templated as per the style guide. Do we know what they're talking about, how big a job that is? What are we dealing
The
with?
style guide, they want it to look like the interior of the movie train, okay? They give us some leeway on that, and Tom's crew has been great at making that more conform to what they want. I'm not sure exactly what more they want us to do. Have they talked to you at all, Tom?
No, that's a good point. I know we took all the colored lights off, and then when Allison was here, she bought the breeze, and then we finished them up with the white lights. We took all the, except for in the VIP cars, the only one. Yeah, I just made a thing where I'm going to put it in the Joy of the World. That might be wrong for them. Well,
No, that'd be
they don't want
okay.
to use it, they don't have to use that car. And you know what? Be honest with you, they get a big check from you guys. That's what they care about. The rest of it is, and every year it's, the rail events takes all of our great ideas, I mean, if we do this, they're gonna, when they go to the different railroads, oh, yeah. Yeah, and then they, I mean, yeah. Though I do want to make a comment about the North Pole. To me, it's underwhelming now. The buildings are less, and it's a lot easier to put up. I do like the dance stages. I thought that was great. That was a great thing that she did this year up there. But to me, it's getting underwhelming. But then again, I have a different event in Virginia City in Gold Hill where I have to knock it out of the park. So it's way different. We're still putting decorations away today from that event in December. So it's not apples to apples, but it still does work. So the Santas do a great job, and that's the main thing. Santa makes a contact with each family and each individual because it is Christmas, and hey, Santa Claus is the guy. So my 2 cents.
Very good. Thank you. All right, final comments? Gone. Thank you all for your efforts on that, for a great successful season. All right, let's move on to item number 12, which is for discussion only, some monthly non-action items. Sherry, do you have anything else you want to talk about, an update for us?
So you guys can come up with great ideas so we can double capacity. In November, I did a little bit more of a full-on, did it come up? Report of financials and everything, but this is just boiling things down a little bit. Over the whole season, May through October, we ran a total of 47 trains. You will see that diesel is lagging. We know that. And steam, we run about 68% capacity, overall bringing our capacity to 62%. Math-wise, we need to be running at least 50% capacity. So we're a little bit over that, but our special events are carrying a lot of the season, where our Mother's Day, our Mark Twain train, our Toast of the Canyons, they are running at like 100, so that counteracts. But those are 5 events. So I just wanted to bring that up, and possibly we can brainstorm some ideas to bring diesel up somehow, lowering tickets. I know last year we had the 10% off Sundays. When I looked that up, out of over 2,000 bookings that we had last year, we had 124 that took advantage of that. So we might want to think of a way to push that a little bit more. The next page is a month by month of how we went. The spring, May with Mother's Day is nice. May and June is good. August is our slower month. And then we ramp back up in September, October. Again, we have a couple of events, so maybe we want to move those around a little bit if we can. And then the final page is what I did present in November, so you can see numbers from 24 to 25. And like I say, brainstorm, so we're ready on February 6th, and hopefully you don't have to rehash 2025. Let's just plan 2026.
Chair, can we ask a quick question?
No, sorry.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
No, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. August, is this heat related? People going back to school related?
I think it's,
what is-
yeah, going back to school.
So that we gotta figure out a workaround there for sure. Because that's not good. If our break even is 50%, so we're operating in the negative for the entire month, basically. Then
Almost, yeah.
Do we run more diesel trains in August?
I don't think so.
Is there a
but
correlation there?
I can look.
yeah, or is that an opportunity to create? When we talked about those special event style trains, but something that would make sense historically or culturally or whatever on some sort of thematic train. Could that help us on one of those weekends to sell out, and do 100% capacity? I don't know, but I didn't realize how off we are
Yeah.
for August.
Well, if we don't run a heavy train schedule, and that's why I ask about the diesel, because if we're only running a couple of weekends in August, then there's a great variability, right? And so, but I do, it's my desire that we really, and if the commission can spend some time thinking about this, when we get into the planning, that we spend some real time thinking about, I think it's clear where our growth opportunities are internally, right? We certainly can, we've talked about packaging and other, external things as well, but internally really put some brain power into strategizing on how to increase our occupancies and get better bang for our buck because most of our expenses in the regular season are fixed costs. And so that means we are paying those fixed costs regardless. We're amortizing them over fewer passengers. And so if in preparation for that, if you want to think about pricing strategies, if you want to think about the offering that we have, schedule, and like you said, Dave, maybe additional things or themes or things that we can do to make it more interesting. So. Or maybe we just do like the French and take the month of August off.
All of us?
Oh yeah, everyone, 5 weeks of vacation.
Just this side. Yeah, so sorry. Oh, gosh. Oh, vendors exempt.
Great, thank you. Sherry, anything else for us?
I don't think so. If you want me, have any ideas that you want me to make sure that we have at the retreat, just, please ask if you want backup information or previous information that will help.
Are we starting at 9 at the Adams Hub? Is that?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Great, thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for jumping the gun, Vice Chair, because sub-item B is upcoming meetings, so I'm just kidding, we're fine. Yeah, oh, is it? Oh, gotcha. So yeah, then it will just briefly want to mention, so the retreat is scheduled for February 6th. It's a Friday. We have the Adams Hub booked and we'll start at 9 in the morning. If anyone has restrictions on that day, let us know so we can try to plan it. We're try to schedule it in a way where we can work around people's schedules so that we can get you in, but maybe you don't have to be there the whole day. I mean, except for us, obviously.
And
We're
make sure when
we're
you
stuck.
arrive, you don't park in that little alley part because that's short-term parking. Right in front of the building. Yeah, right in front of the.
I mean, $15 for all day parking. That's what the ticket
Yeah,
is.
if
And
you
it's-
want to
it's not
go
too
that
bad,
far.
so
I think that's what you did last year.
in most
so.
major metros, yeah. So
If-
I just flip the license plate every couple hours.
If you want to walk across the street, you can park in the City Hall parking garage,
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
except for David.
Yeah. Yeah. And then our next regularly scheduled meeting is February 25th. And then I did want to just bring to the attention of the commission that the April meeting potentially forms a conflict for several of us. The date that we had outlined, I think, falls over Rural Roundup. And so what I would ask is maybe if you look at your calendars and look at if we could do it the week before, which would be the 15th, I believe, of April. But get a hold of me and we can talk offline about rescheduling to a different day. So just wanted to make sure that that was on the radar and we're thinking about it. All right. With that, we'll move on to item number 13, which is commissioner comments or announcements and requests for information. No action will be taken and no discussion among the members or with staff will take place during this item of the agenda. Do we have commissioner comments, announcements, or requests for information? Very good. Lucas, we got anything legal we got to go into closed session for?
No.
Very good. Thank you. All right, with that, we will move on to our final opportunity for public comment. Public's invited at this time to comment on any matter that's not specifically included in the agenda as an action item. No action may be taken on matters raised under this item of the agenda. Any public comment here at the end of the meeting? Not hearing any, we will move on to item number 15, which is to adjourn. We will call the meeting adjourned at 10:56 a.m. Thank you, everybody, so much.